Stay tuned now on WVOX for Westchester Means Business with John Ravitz. John Ravitz is the Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer for the Business Council of Westchester. Now, Westchester Means Business on 1460 WVOX.
Our guest this afternoon is Robin Colner, who is the CEO and founder of Digistar Media, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Robin. But what's always so exciting for me at the Business Council of Westchester is when you get to interface with folks from different industries, different sectors, who really are on the cutting edge of what's happening to help not only their clients, but the economic growth of the county. And Robin, you've been a superstar in Westchester County for quite some time. Let me tell you a little bit about Robin Colner. She is an acclaimed digital marketing strategist, a university educator and corporate trainer. An MBA graduate of the Wharton School of Business, Robin has more than 20 years of technology-enabled product development and direct online marketing experience. She has held senior marketing positions at Fortune 100 financial services corporations, including Citicorp and American Express, and leading advertising agencies such as the McCann Erickson. As the founder and CEO of Digistar Media, a digital and social media marketing agency, Robin is dedicated to helping businesses and professionals drive traffic to their websites, improve their brand reputations, acquire customers, and attract leads using digital, social media, and content marketing techniques. She's also the founder and director of the Fordham University's Digital and Social Media Professional Certificate Program, as well as the instructor for the social media class. Robin, welcome. Thank you.
I am thrilled to be here.
I'm glad you could take a few minutes with all the work that you do on a daily basis to come in. But, one of the things that's so fascinating for me is just the changing trends in media.
That's
and
true.
How people not only can get their message out, but now the way they can get it out and how they have to stay updated on those techniques and everything else. And you're known as a digital and social media market expert, and you've given a number of presentations to members of the Business Council of Westchester. Tell me the type of clients that your company really looks for and the work that you do for them.
We work with all kinds of consumer-facing businesses, whether they're retail, restaurant, educational, e-commerce, and we help them make sense of all these new channels, grow their visibility, and grow their business. I also work extensively with professional service providers, since Westchester is made up of professional service providers, and I have a long history of background in marketing and financial services and some of the regulated businesses.
Let's break down for our listeners. So when you say professional service providers, we're talking about law firms and accountants and other areas of that
You
nature?
bet. Attorneys, accountants, real estate agents, marketing consultants, anybody that offers services to both businesses and to consumers, because they too can benefit from leveraging these channels.
So talk to us a little bit about the changing trends in how you and your company have had to, as you said, assist your clients in getting their message out.
That's a very interesting point, John, because over the past, I've been in business for 8 years. Social media has been around for about 10 years, but open to businesses for about 9 years. And what I've seen is an incredible pace of change. What used to be set up a simple presence on a site, put up a little bit of content, hire an intern, and you're ready to go. That's not the way that it works successfully today. You need to reach people in multiple channels. Not one channel works better than another. They all work together. And having somebody act as my clients refer to me as the marketing concierge, because I end up putting all the pieces of all of the activities and all the channels together so that the result is far greater than those individual pieces.
We read your extensive bio at the beginning of the show, and you've talked about, again, all the moving pieces, but to be able to start your own company and your own business in a field that, as you said, is only 10 years old, what gave you the real drive to do it, and how did you form it?
Well, I had the good fortune of working for an internet startup in 2006, and I was able to actually experience firsthand the evolution. We left the dot-com bubble, and we moved into what I call Web 2.0, which was all this new interactive, these new interactive platforms. So I mastered search engine marketing and affiliate marketing, and then the people I was working for said, get us on this new stuff that just opened up last week. Facebook, Twitter, start blogging, Robin. So I was in it at the very beginning, and then I was able to see how businesses were struggling with how to make sense of all of this. It used to take marketing plans would happen and unfold over several years. Everybody understood it was print, television, radio-based, or direct response-based. And now you had so many different opportunities. So I said, I love to help people get up to speed. I love to be at the current cutting edge. How can I, best serve the public? And that's why I set up my business. I realized that there was a lot of confusion, and boy, I was right. Our
guest this afternoon is Robin Colner, who is the founder and CEO of Digistar Media Company. It's interesting. I just finished binge watching Mad Men. And that obviously takes place in the 60s. Yeah. But that was the only way that big corporations and even smaller businesses could get their message out, by hiring an advertising agency, having to do a campaign, as you said, on both television or radio. Right. That's all now, part of the past, and the future is what you do on a daily basis. So when you go into a client's office and begin to work with them, what are some of the things that you need to be able to tell them, and what are some of the things that they have to provide for you to get that work done?
Well, as you mentioned, in the Mad Men era, marketing, which by the way took us all the way through, the turn of the 2000 era. Okay, basically, marketing was writing a check. You would place an ad someplace. Somebody developed an ad, whether it was on television, print, or radio, and you checked off a box and say, I approve, and then you wrote a check to place the media. And that was marketing. It's collaborative today. So entering someone's office means that we're going to have a longer-term relationship, because today marketing is about relationships. It's building relationships through social and digital channels. And that includes everything from an interactive presence on social media to developing an effective email list that you can use with targeted advertising, to exploring the opportunities for one-on-one customer service through messenger bots. That's where tomorrow is going to happen. And of course, it's happening a lot for larger companies today. But that foundation of getting in touch with the customer is a process that businesses are learning more and more about over time, and that's what I help guide them do.
And it obviously can't happen overnight. I mean, obviously, you have to develop a plan and a strategy, and then decide which of these different platforms makes the most sense for a business. Right. So you might have from all of your list of clients, you have a professional service firm and a non-for-profit. They might not be on the same track.
So you're right. I don't give templated responses to anybody. It all has to start with, where are your customers? Where are they today? Where are they probably going to be interacting and want to interact with you tomorrow? Then it's putting a plan in place as to how to create a variety of content. A lot of that is moving towards video today. Video, short-form video, long-form video, testimonial video, stories. Everything is about telling your story in various formats. A lot of it is visual. And there needs to be a content calendar, which I help clients create, because it's easy to just throw things up and to come up with an idea. But to stay consistent, which is where the power of these channels comes from, requires putting a plan in place, exactly as you said. And then there's a methodology for testing and measuring, so that you can be smarter about how you spend your money and your time in the following month or quarter.
Our guest this afternoon is Robin Colner, who is the founder and CEO of Digistar Media Company, a member of the Business Council of Westchester. This is John Ravitz, the Executive Vice President of the Business Council. And to learn more about the Business Council, please go to our website at www.thebcw.org. Robin, you are very involved with the Business Council of Westchester. We're so fortunate about that. But you're right. I mean, we have 86 events a year. And to be able to get that message, and we always tell our members we don't expect them to go to every event, and some events are more targeted for some members than others. But to be able to coordinate that with all the different platforms is a full-time job and a half. So you and your staff really have a lot of work to do to try to navigate, again, through those different platforms. Talk to me a little bit about how the folks at Digistar actually can handle all that.
You use a lot of wonderful tools that have been invented to help measure and monitor and distribute content more effectively. You really need to be on the scene at a client, because the physical assets of photography and videography all have to happen at the events, before the event, during the event, and after the event, because there's a lot of promotion that goes on with that, if that's part of what the marketing plan entails. When working with professional service companies, it's more important to develop premium content, educational content, valuable content, and then figure out the various platforms to distribute that content in, with the idea being to try to develop thought leadership expertise, improve the visibility, and even attract additional recruits if you're working at a larger firm and that's important to you.
And when you go into a professional service firm, again, they probably on their to-do list, having a marketing plan is probably not as high up as others.
That's probably true.
But obviously, to get their brand and to get their
That's
name
right.
recognition and to increase their client list, they really do have to turn to somebody like you and your firm to help them do that. Is that a tougher sell to go into some of these firms who just don't really have that in their culture yet?
I think what's happened is a lot of businesses feel that wasn't that marketing was a dirty word for them, and certainly social media has had its challenges. However, because I've come out of professional services businesses, I have a great deal of respect for understanding how to communicate a value proposition without being self-promotional all the time, and without feeling like you're ambulance chasing or doing something that goes against the grain of how a professional normally works. It is important because over 75% of all decision makers are moving towards online sources before they make phone calls to any word of mouth. Word of mouth is still how business is done, but word of mouth takes people to the internet, not to the telephone right away. And that's one of the major value propositions behind being engaged in this. And it's also important, I think a lot of people avoided having their employees on LinkedIn, for example, because they felt that somehow they were going to be stolen or hired away. When in fact, if someone has a robust, active presence on LinkedIn, they make that company that they work for shine even more.
Well, I want to stick to that because you recently gave a presentation about LinkedIn to the Women's Council at the Business Council of Westchester. How do you help people use LinkedIn? Because LinkedIn is, again, always changing and it has so many different facets.
LinkedIn is one of those, not only is it always changing, but a lot of people like to ignore it a little bit. They pretty much think it's a resume warehouse or a online contact list. And it's a great deal more than that. So what I do is I actually go into businesses. If they have a number of business development professionals, I'm able to take those people and make them smarter about how to use LinkedIn on a daily basis. It doesn't take a lot of time to develop prospect lists, to do research on clients, to understand what their competitors are doing, and to increase the referral pipeline, which is really critical to them. And that is usually done in the context of either a half-day or full-day workshop. It can be done online through webinar-based training. I have a lot of experience with that. And I even have the flexibility of working one-on-one with individuals so that I can do what's called a LinkedIn makeover, because some people just don't like to write about themselves.
Right.
But having that LinkedIn profile is so critical that it's built in the best way to make you look as good as possible. It's like what they used to say about businesses: if you don't have a D&B report, you're not in business. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, and that's what everybody is looking at. Everybody Googles everybody, and that comes up number one. So you might as well have it look as great as possible, and have it work very hard for you.
Our guest this afternoon is Robin Colner, who is the CEO and founder of Digistar Media. If people wanted to get in touch with you and your company, what's the best way to do it?
You got it. www.digistar, that's D as in digital, IGISTAR media, media.com. And that's because I love helping people create stellar campaigns that make them digital stars.
As you know, we at the Business Council of Westchester are very proud of the fact that we have 130 non-for-profits who play such an important role in the county, because not only are economic engines, they create jobs, they create revenue, but obviously they deliver really critical services to the community. How do you work with non-for-profits in a different way than you might be working with the professional service firms that you just talked about?
One of the great things about a nonprofit is that their mission resonates with people and helps everyone look good on social media. The problem is, as you might well imagine, is their marketing coordinators are usually doing 15 jobs at the same time. So what I try to do is help them be very efficient and not spend a lot of money and time. Therefore, I teach them about free to low-cost tools that they can use because they need help with doing it quickly. One of the the things that nonprofits overlooks is the power of their troops, their ground troops, which means their donors, their volunteers, their staff, and their board members. If everybody can get sent via an email platform content that they could then share on their social sites, guess what? You've got a viral spread of information, both to enhance the mission of that nonprofit as well as to get people to turn out to specific events.
So it's usually really the referral branch of each individual to spread the message.
Yeah, but there's techniques to actually help everybody. If you provide that content and know how to create it, and sometimes interns can be taught how to do that as well, which is video content. For example, all nonprofits usually have big events that they run. If they could get a couple of photographs, you can use a program such as Animoto, get royalty-free music and turn it into a video. That's perfect. That can be sent around, and people love to send that kind of content around. So that's how I work with them. I also make sure that they've developed partnerships with other nonprofits because we all need to help each other. It's the teamwork approach that actually gets things to be more successful.
Yep, and as we try to do at the Business Council of Westchester, one of our foundations is that collaborative work, helping build relationships, helping people to be able to begin to have those partnerships that can help both their businesses move forward. Our guest this afternoon is Robin Colner, who is the CEO and founder of Digistar Media. We've talked a lot about some of the different platforms and how they've changed. And I'd love to ask you, in terms of over these last few years, are you surprised that some platforms have been more successful than others?
Yeah, there have been some surprises. I think people were surprised that Snapchat didn't catch on until after 5 years of its growth. Then they were surprised that it was so successful. And now they're a little surprised that it's declining in popularity. And that's pretty much because Facebook's Instagram has taken control of the major features and functionalities that Snapchat had. I think you have we're fighting against a little bit of fatigue factor that happens with social media sites. We also have a very interesting twist in how Twitter is being used today. It certainly is the primary way of approaching the media, as you might well understand. It's also wonderful for celebrities, and it's perfect for a customer service vehicle until messenger bots get a little bit more popular, through WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger.
But I guess the danger is there's just so much content on all these platforms, and people now, instead of the old-fashioned way of reading a newspaper or getting their news off of these platforms, how, as someone who's a leader in this field, how do you try, again, to keep that uniqueness for your customers?
For the clients?
Yeah, for the clients.
It's really important to look, especially if I'm working in a local market, it's really important to look and see what your competitors are doing. You don't have to produce 200 pieces of content a day as a business. You have to produce content that's more valuable to what your customers want and make it a little bit more, have the quantity and the quality slightly better than any of your competition, which makes this a less overwhelming prospect.
So that's really you and your team. I mean, you have to go and do the research and,
and try to
come up with that plan.
And then help structure the content. And it's got to be in a variety of forms, whether it's infographics combined with downloadable checklists, combined with ebooks, white papers, and then interesting posts, articles, blog posts.
So we're in 2018. 2 years from now, when we're back on the air talking about the work that Digistar does for businesses in Westchester County, what are you, using your crystal ball, think of what's the future look like for social and digital media?
The future looks great, actually. Nobody's really leaving the fold. If they leave the fold, they tend to come back. And there hasn't been another place that you can reach people successfully. You and I may be having this conversation through some form of virtual reality platform, and certainly there will be some text overlay in the form of augmented reality when we speak, but we will still be talking, and we will still have the major channels. LinkedIn will still be extremely popular and important in the business community and the professional community. Facebook and Instagram will still be around, and I believe Twitter will be around in some way, shape, or form.
I want to, before we leave this afternoon, it's so exciting that you're the founder of the director of the Fordham's Universal Digital and Social Media Professional Certificate Program. Talk to us a little bit about that. Talk to us about when classes start, if people want to get involved, and really what the curriculum looks like.
So I have been fortunate that I was able to start teaching for Fordham University 7 years ago. I asked them to give me a budget to start a program that I thought belonged in Westchester County. I'm super proud to say that we're starting our 13th semester because it is a program that was not only incredibly valuable for Westchester County, but we are pulling from 7 counties onto our campus in Westchester, which is off Westchester Avenue. I have 6 courses, which are what I call the 5 pillars of digital marketing. I hire the teachers who are industry professionals. The classes run on Saturdays for the most part from 9 to 1. 3 sessions equal to a class, that's 12 hours. Your students are welcome to take 1 class or as many as they want. If they do a little bit of, if they do the work and they take all 6 classes, they'll get the professional certificate. And more importantly, we've had tremendous success stories of people being able to not only build their business successfully, but get better jobs, advance in their careers, re-enter the job market. I have students who range in age from 20 to 120, I like to say, really, 20 to, let's say, mid-60s. And that's because everybody can benefit from these classes. It's a really unusual alternative education to staying up to speed.
And if people want to enroll for, I guess, the
That's
fall
right.
classes?
The URL is www.p as in Peter, C as in Candy, S, PCS, which is Professional Continuing Studies, the letters associated with that, pcs.fordham.edu/digital. And you'll be able to enroll directly. Our first class begins September 15th, so take a look today. Anybody can give me a call at 914-826-5512. I'm happy to talk about Digistar Media, and I'm happy to talk about the courses at Fordham.
Well, that's great. Our guest this afternoon has been Robin Colner, who is the CEO and founder of Digistar Media. One last question, which I think is interesting, because these platforms are used by kids who are in their teens. And I know my kids, they're constantly showing me new things that I don't know how they even find. How does that process work in terms of, again, the saturation of some of these platforms, for the balance between professional businesses trying to get their message out and all the content that the younger generation are put forward?
What's worked very successfully for not only our clients, but everybody in the social media space, is to actually tap influencers. So by doing that, you get people who are the leaders, or people who have large followings or successful niche followings in a particular area. So it doesn't have to just appeal to young people. It has to do with how you market to any particular demographic. Once you get that influencer, they have greater reach, and they can help create content that resonates with an audience. So that's the secret to what a lot of people are finding as an extremely successful strategy.
Well, we urge all of our listeners who do need help in this area. We are so fortunate at the Business Council of Westchester and in Westchester County to have Robin Colner, who is a leader in this area, as the CEO and founder of Digistar Media. If you want to give your website one last time.
You got it. www.digistar, DIGISTAR, media, one word, media.com.
Well, thank you for joining us this afternoon.
John, Robin Colner and Digistar Media are on all the social media sites, whether it's Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. So please do find me, ROBINCOLNER.
Thank you. And Robin, again, thank you for the work that you do, not only for businesses throughout the county, but I know the work that you've done with the Business Council of Westchester, and it's so important to have somebody with your leadership and your experience in that area to help us with that.